You just got here. You got nobody schedules a meeting for 9:01. You don't jump out of bed and vacuum. You take a moment. Rather than the moment. Normally for this kind of thing, you know, you'd have a podium and there'd be poise and prestige. But I ain't that kind of guy. So let's hang out. All right, now we have our groove. We're there. What do you want?
I was just wondering what inspired the teacher to become what it is.
It just never happened. I never set out to say, I want to build a multinational nonprofit corporation and inspire young minds to greatness. I wanted to play drums in a jazz band in a recording studio. That was my I'm a drummer from way back. And I was living out of Grand Valley. Some of my weirdo friends and I would get together. I like to build cool stuff. I'm a nerd. It's what we do. I like to build cool stuff. And because I'm a geek, I'm really passionate about that. I get amazingly enthusiastic about camera lenses and electronic cigarettes and model helicopters and stuff. Geek things. And I like to share that with people. And it turns out, people love a freak show. And man, I'm your guy. So we started out in Grand Valley and we took, we were digging old, you know the seats they have in bus stations where it's like a T-bar and a T-bar and a bar, and there's like 5 seats on it? We dug a couple of those out of the dumpster and like a handful of old bicycles. And we took all that tubing and we welded it up over at Luke's barn and we made the absolute worst designed tricycle in the history of the world. It had a bike wheel on the back, a bike wheel on the side. It was like 6-8 feet wide. It was like 10-12 feet long. And we had one bus station seat, a plastic cracked seat. You put your feet up like this and you steered with a rope. We had a, you know the old 10-speed bike handlebars that went like that with a curl? We had a piece of rope up there and you could steer with that. There was no brakes. There was steering with a rope. And so we said, okay, what's the best way to power this? Because we couldn't figure out how to make pedals and crap work, because that live axle and all. So we went to Young's Army Navy surplus out of South Division, and we bought a parachute. Problem was, because lawyers, they won't sell you a whole parachute, they sell you half a parachute. They take the circle and they cut it in half. So, being rugged manly that we were, we sewed it. We didn't have needles and thread and sewing and stuff, but we had Cat 5 cable. So we just hooked it together and we took one strand of Cat 5 and then we just poked it through the nylon all the way down. And if you take a circle and you cut it in half, you end up with a cone, right? This was in like 1994, so we named it Madonna 1. So we took the parachute, and I had a rock climbing harness because I used to climb radio towers for a living and change light bulbs. And we put the rock climbing harness on, we took all the lines from the parachute, we put that through a figure 8. Instead, this is Grand Valley, which is the bottom of the Grand River Valley. So it's windy as hell all the time. Well, we're on a bicycle that you steer with a rope with no brakes and like 8-10-foot parachute. And you're trying to steer, you steer with one hand and the whole thing with the other hand, and oh shit, there's a tree. It was fun. And a lot of people saw us bouncing because it was just this flat, it was a triangle, but it was flat. There was no vertical supports. So the whole thing got over the six out. And you're on the stage, and you're like, oh, it's great. Every man, how I lived through that summer. I know, we had more fun. And everybody wanted to see this. And people got to be like, oh, I want to hang with them. They're crazy. Somebody's going to get hurt. I want to see blood. and it just grew. And we got into building Tesla coils, and now people want to see the lightning. And we take all this laboratory apparatus and set it up in the middle of the city park, or a parking ramp. And people would just show up, because there's all this noise, and there's a crowd, and if you have a crowd, you're going to get a bigger crowd. But the tour did it. And it just grew. Because out there in the world, there's a different set of rules. Look around this building. We're all the guys that got beat up in homecoming. We're all the guys that look different, or talk funny, or dress funny, or smell funny, or whatever, but we're different.
All the above.
And he's a lawyer. And I grew up in the era of and it bothered me. And this was growing more and more and more. More and more people were getting involved. And I started to see that this could be more than just a hackerspace, that this could be an agent for cultural change if we could get enough people involved. So we started making videos. Now we made a video with a little $300 camera like that, and just, hey, this is the thing I did today. And we're doing this esoteric stuff with Tesla coils, and there's like, the number of people in the state of Michigan who build Tesla coils, you can count on your fingers. There's 1,500 guys on Earth that do this at even the hobby level. And the number of people to do it at the level that we do with, 6-digit power factors and stuff like that, there's like 5 guys on Earth that are doing this. So I didn't expect anybody to really want to watch the video. We made the video for one of the guys in the lab. He was out of town. We're like, hey, can you figure this thing out? It got 1.5 million hits. And it's like, turns out there's people out there that want to know about this stuff. And it just evolved. It wasn't like I set out to do it. It was the idea that really fused it all together was, let's make a place where it's okay to be different, where it's okay to be smart, where smart can be cool, and let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate our unreasonable passion for the miracles that make the world work. Because if you're in a room full of smart people right now, there's a room full of smart people. I take all you guys together, we go out in the woods. You take a backpack, you have no technology, you just get like a hatchet. How long till you can send an email? You have a problem. We live in a world that is built on science, technology, engineering, and math. Where nobody knows anything about science, technology, engineering, and math. And there's a whole world of like really awesome stuff going on. And nobody knows how it works. You use the internet all the time. I'll bet all the money in my pocket against all the money in your pocket. You cannot give me a detailed breakdown of the OSI layer and the basics of internet protocol and transmission protocol. Because normal people, it's magic. It's not. It's just stuff. And you can do it because you're not stupid. And if you change the rules, because out there, stupid is sexy and it's cool. This is why we have the Learning Channel right now with Honey fucking Boo Boo on it, okay? That's on the Learning Channel right now. This bothers me at a deep level. But if you make a place where it doesn't matter if you're black or white or straight or gay. Yesterday, we legalized gay marriage in the state of Michigan. Awesome. Why is this still a debate? Who cares? I don't care who you're screwing. I don't care who you're raping. It doesn't matter to me. You're not screwing me. Why do I care? If you build a place where all of that, all the crap doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how many letters you have after your name. It doesn't matter if you're a crusty old fart or a little kid, because both of you have something to teach everybody else in this room. He knows something that nobody else in this room does. I don't know what it is, but he knows. Everybody has something to offer. And if you create a place with universal acceptance, where it doesn't matter, where it's all crap, what can you do? And if you take the other side of that, we're out there, you can't let the wee precious children play with the helicopter, he might hurt himself. Screw that! How many times you fall off your bike? I did. I got scars. Kids get scars, man. You go on with your day. And if you just accept that, you're going to get hurt. You're going to bleed. You're going to pick a wrench and you're going to hurt yourself. It's going to happen. Okay, what's next? If you don't take the rubber edge, or if you don't put nerve edges on the world, and if you accept that there's real danger in it, cool! It's like high voltage explosions and giant robots. Let's blow shit up. Because the kid that eats too many marbles isn't going to grow up and have kids that eat too many marbles. It's a self-limiting problem. So if you create that environment where you have to be responsible for your own actions, it's all the things you want to teach your kid. Decisions matter. Actions have consequences. You have to clean up when you're done. Things like that. Grandpa stuff, man, that they're not teaching on TV anymore. And if you instill that there's honor in work, that it's okay to not go to college, be an electrician, they make $70 an hour. I don't make $70 an hour, do you? It's a good job. If you instill that there's honor in skilled trades, and if you do all of this and you make a building, it turns out that there's people who want to come and be a part of it. You create universal acceptance, you treat people like they're smart, not like they're stupid, and they'll rise up and do amazing things. And that's how all this started. And I didn't
actually trying to write the manual right now.
Yeah, it's right in the manual right now, so you can build a place like this. That's the idea.
Create tools, create products.
Yeah, treat people like they're smart. Because I've never met you before in my life. But I believe if I give you the honest chance, if I say, can you handle working that skill set? Sure. Okay. Do you understand the risk? If you screw up, you lose a finger? Yeah. Okay. Knock yourself out. I believe that if I put that faith in you to not be an idiot, that you won't be. Every now and then I'm going to get burned. It's worth it. But somebody has to make the jump. Somebody has to have faith. Because out there, they treat everybody like they're stupid. So you get a room full of stupid people. Problem is they vote. That bothers me. So, that's kind of a roundabout answer. Does that make sense?
That's totally what I was looking for.
Cool. Next, Anthony, what do you got? Somebody give me an interesting one. Oh, come on, I got room for the smart people. You got something to do. You can ask me absolutely anything. It's impossible to embarrass me, and it takes a lot of work to offend me, unless you're really good. I'm right there.
Or a lawyer.
We have one lawyer we like, one Tim. What do you do?
Who?
You.
Drive truck.
Kind of truck.
Somehow.
Day driver or together?
Day driver.
Yeah? What do you haul?
All kinds of stuff.
Cool. I spent a couple of years as a lumberer at Boden when I was a kid. Working my way through college. A lumberer's an idiot who hangs out in the loading dock in the middle of the night and unloads produce for like 20, maybe if you're really lucky, $50 a load, but it's going to be rude days and they're not going to be back. It really sucks. It's a hard way to make a living, but if you ever need to make it past $20, just show up at Boden on third shift. This guy came in, this is kind of cool. This is Cal. Cal came in the other day with an idea. And this is a place for that. This is what we do. Concept of creation. We're a place where the truck driver can come in with an idea for something that would make his world better, maybe the next big thing. And he can take that from something in his head to something in his hands. And he's doing it. That's really cool. So it's something all of you've seen all the time. You know the banners that hold signs on light posts, you see vertical banners? Yeah, he invented a whole concept for how to hang those easily. Because when you see that, there's a dude with like a bucket truck and they're double parked and blocking traffic or something. He's got a whole thing where a guy can just walk up with a pole and change up hands. One guy with a pole can do it with a pickup truck. You can invent this stuff. The people who invented the cell phone are not gods. They're smart people. There's a ton of brains in this thing. But they're not gods. Any one of you could invent the next cell phone, could invent the next e-cig or helicopter or whatever the hell. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are. In fact, having a 7-year-old on your development board is actually a really, really cool thing. Every company should do this. Every company should have a 7-year-old on their board. Because you come in, somebody pitches an idea, and when the 7-year-old says, "You're an idiot," there you go. Think of this! Think of how many companies, they don't have big companies like British Petroleum companies. If they had a 7-year-old on the board, would be in way better shape than they are now. Because the 7-year-old's going to see that, and he's not going to care. He's like, "You're an idiot. That's a stupid ass idea. Do it with Legos." Oh, absolutely. They fill libraries full of whole libraries full of shit I don't know. Right? What do you do?
Construction company.
Which one?
Masonry. I do finish work, masonry finish work.
You're a rock guy.
Yeah.
If you ever want to volunteer, let me know.
Okay.
Oh my God. Which construction company?
It's mine. It's called Sunseeker. I do finish on pools, actually.
Really?
I do interior pools, commercial, residential,
That's hard to do.
some construction.
That's not just like, masonry block walls. That's a pool. It's got to be smooth.
Yeah, we spray it, pump it, spray it, and
That's fantastic.
I was wondering where the pool is around here. There had to be a pool.
High voltage level.
Well, high
Where they're pressure washing, the room that's like Vietnam right now is like 70 degrees in there and with 300% humidity.
Okay.
Well, the pressure washing, we're trying to keep the room up. It was like 40 degrees in there 2 days ago. We're going to be painting in there starting Monday.
Okay.
And they're pressure washing. But if you walk in there, it's really obvious that was the pool.
Right.
And when we peeled all the paint off the walls, we took off like 4 layers of paint.
Yeah.
We got down to the original layer, and it says 44 laps even close, and I will beat you to death with a snow shovel if you ever compare my company to First again. I have fundamental problems with First. I think First is, and the list of things that fit this category is terrifyingly long. Great idea, bad. First, the concept of First, the idea of First is awesome. Here's how we do robotics here. If you want to build a robot, there's a room. It's actually under this room right now.
We walked through it.
Full of robotics parts. I got pneumatics and hydraulics and servos and steppers and just all kinds of cool shit. And if you want to come and build a robot, you can go in that room, use any parts you want, build anything you want, using any tool in the lab. And if at the end of the day, you're like, I built that, and you leave it right there, that's it. Doesn't cost you nothing. If you want to take it home with you, we break down the parts, okay, well that's that, and you pay surplus prices for the parts, because I probably got this stuff donated anyway. And to replace all the parts you use, I'm going to go to surplus places and buy those. So you don't have to pay $200 for that servo motor, because I'm going to get it from Grand Rapids Industrial Surplus for $15. You're going to pay $15 for the motor, because that's fair. That's don't be a dick, which is the first rule of the geek group. Don't be a dick. You'd be amazed how many things solve themselves if that's your first rule. Don't be a dick. It's that easy. Why'd you do that? You're a dick. Don't do that. Now here's how First does it. And you can, I'm really big on critical thinking and logic and reasoning, common sense and shit like that. Go on the First website if you don't believe me on this, but check it out. Do your own research. Here's how First works. You take a handful of companies. They're all cool companies, but they're for serious, big robotics companies. You can only use their stuff. They're not going to donate it. We're going to charge you for that. Bring a pile of money and all your friends, and you can play. Well, now you've just eliminated 90% of the people in the world because you've got a barrier to entry. You have to have a pile of money. Now, it costs money to run a business. We spend about $25,000 a month. If you and I just hang here and shoot the shit all day, and we build no projects, and we use no tools and no consumables, we just hang out here in a warm room that has lights and heat and insurance, I spent $25 grand that month. The problem with First is the amount of money they charge versus the freedom they give you is just, it's all wrong. It's all upside down. And if you win, if you go to the competition, you have to pay to do that. And if you win, you have to pay more. No! That's not how it works!
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
I have been on a formula racing team that spent less money than I've seen high schools spend on First. No shit! You go up to Grattan, 10 mile, go up to 10 mile, turn right, drive into the world ends, turn right again, you're there. Grattan Raceway. SCCA, Sports Car Club of America. You can drive formula cars. You can, anyone can. Okay, he's a little young, but once he can reach the pedals, he's there. Okay? You go to Skip, you get your fire suit, you're set. You can drive race cars. And people do this. You know what it costs to get like a Formula Atlantic, Formula Continental, something like that? It's about 15, 20 grand. You know what it costs if you win nationals in First? Bend over, grab your ankles, and hold on tight because daddy's coming. It's insane. And it's really, really limited. This is what you can do, and you can't do any of this. These are the parts you can use, and you can't use anybody else's. It's advertising. It's a huge, huge marketing thing. And for what it is, it's a really great idea. If you wanted to teach people how to build things using these products, because when they grow up and they become robotics engineers, you want them to buy more products. Screw that. Let's turn First on its head. Come here where it's only $40 a month. Bring all the friends you want. Bring 200 kids from your high school. Okay? Guess what they pay? $40 a month. That's it. You don't have to pay me 10 grand. It's $40 a month. If you build a robot using what out there would cost $5 grand in parts, and then I can get the parts for $300 surplus, that's what it costs. $300 in surplus. And that's only if you want to take it with you. If you want to leave it here, you can come here and be here next week. Come play with it. Nobody else is going to. That's the idea. I just need to make sure that there's parts for the next one. You can do this stuff ethically. You can do this stuff and not screw people out of money. Yes, you have to make a profit at the end of the day. But if I make a little tiny bit of money on the robotics side, and I make a little tiny bit of money on the wood shop, and the computer lab, and the recording studio, and the videos, and add it all together, we can pay the bills. Make a little bit from a whole lot of people. Don't screw high schools out of $30,000. So I hate First. And that's why. But if you
compare yourself and contrast yourself to the makerspace people at Wall Street and 131?
Sure, that's easy. And you should all do this. I strongly encourage you. They're actually the makers. They're around Wall Street, and they're cute. You should go check them out. Full monthly membership there. Last time I looked was like $200 a month. At least there was a press article yesterday that said that. It's $200 a month. They have about 5,000 square feet, 3,000 to 5,000 square feet. That's almost the size of our MDH. I hear they're getting a 3D printer real soon now. One of their guys is bringing a 3D printer. We have 7 3D printers. There's one of them right out there. It costs $34,000 and you can use it. I have a dozen printing machines for you guys to use. GR Makers is, if you want to hang out with him and build things on popsicle sticks, it's the place to be. If you want to actually do real work and build real products and do real innovation, do real research, and have access to a $30,000 optics table and a laser lamp full of millions of dollars worth of lasers and real state-of-the-art modern-day CNC equipment that actually works and isn't like World War II Eastern surplus, we're the place to go. So, there's the other makerspace, and they're not as big as we are, but they'll cost you more. So, it's up to you. But you should check it out. I totally encourage you. And by all means, if you go over there, say hi to Casey Boden, tell him I sent you. GR Makers is where we send people that are too stupid to hang out here. We really do. We get people to come in here and you can spot them. You want to go to GR Makers? They're great. Tell them I sent you.
Let's just say there's a healthy rivalry between the two groups.
Yeah. They started because I kicked a bunch of people out of here who were all idiots and caused a lot of problems, and they said, "Screw you, I'm me man. Knock yourself out." It took me 20 years. It cost me about $12 million. I mean, how that works out for you. But they're good people and they're good leaders. So I fully support them. I love competition. Tech Shop bothers me. Tech Shop makes me more like a poop love maker, but Tech Shop is first. Tech Shop is what happened. Tech Shop is a for-profit company. So is GR Makers, by the way. Keep that in mind if you ever make a donation over there. They're not a non-profit. Tech Shop is a giant corporation that says if you give us, if your city will raise X millions of dollars, we will come to your town and build a makerspace where we charge people an insane amount of money. Check out their prices on their website. And each one of their spaces generates, for the corporation, about $750,000 a year. There's 2 different types of makerspaces, and it's really easy to tell who's who. There's the people that are the weirdo, dreamer, freak shows that want to change the world and want to help the makerspace and want to push out there and say, let's build stuff. And then there's the people that have looked at it as like, wow, that's a great way to make your shit pop for a month. They're the for-profit guys. They're the places that want $200 a month. They're the places that they're really free when you walk into it. Really nice. It's like walking into a Lamborghini dealership. It's like, oh my god, nerd porn! Oh, we can't have this stuff. We can't have this stuff because we don't make $1 million a year. My personal salary is $500 a month. That's what I make. Nobody who does this, nobody gets into education for the money. I want to change the world. This is how I can do it. I didn't build, I'm not Mr. Rogers, I'm not Carl Sagan. I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm not that G-rated guy. I'm a rock star scientist. That's who I am. I swear. I don't give a shit. This is who I am. I'm not here to make everybody happy. I'm frequently here to put a boot in your ears. Because I want to build a place with ethics and honesty. I don't want to screw people out of money. I want to teach people that it's okay to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. I want to teach people that high voltage is not what you see on Netflix. High voltage physics is actually a lot like the space program. It's not nearly as sexy as you think it is. What it is months of tedious boredom, punctuated with moments of absolute terror. That's what high voltage physics is. And it's great! It's better than sex! It's awesome! But it's really hard to do. It's like space. Space, turns out, it's really big. And it's hard. But people can do it. And you can do this. You can, and don't think you can't. You don't have to be NASA to launch rockets anymore. Any one of you, I swear to God, we can do this. Any one of you can launch a satellite into space within a week. And without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. It costs a couple bucks, but it's not nearly as much as you think. And there are people that do this. There are people that have taken like a GoPro camera or an iPod and hooked it to a weather balloon and launch it to space! And you can do this. With $1,000, that's it, and less than $1,000, because you can do it here and I blah, blah, blah. You can take and get photographs so high, and you can do this in 1 week. It is possible. We have the technology. You can shoot pictures from so high that you can see the curvature of the Earth. I got a quadcopter. It cost me $400. Okay, that's it. You can buy this off the shelf. Quadcopter. Charge the battery, hang a camera out. You got the cameras as stock items. You go to the backyard and you go, wow! You take this lever, you push it all the way up, and it goes. Oh, I'm never going to see that again. That was my first thought. Was wow, I just spent $400 in 30 seconds. That's gonna suck.
And that's pretty much what everyone standing around him was thinking as well.
And it just, whoa, and it climbs like a rocket. And you're thinking, well, the camera's on. And then you just inch the thing down. Because if you go too far, it's going to pinwheel, and the blades will start spinning backwards, and it will fall out of the sky. The blades will be spinning so fast that the motors can't turn in the other direction, and you're screwed. But if you go about here, it's just going to hover where it is, way the hell there, until the battery goes in. And then, first rule of aviation and spacecraft, takeoffs are optional, landings aren't. So you have to find a delicate spot in here on something that's 5,000 feet away that you can't see, and say, well, is it going over there? And you just, and you're doing this for like 5 minutes, and I'm an idiot, why did I do this? Oh man, it took me 2 months to save up for that. Then it comes back, and then you, after all this error, you run inside, you put the card in the computer, and you get these amazing images. And it's not just, I can see my house from there, it's like, wow, that's like the edge of town. And the edge of town, from here, looking south, is way out there. And you can see that. And you can see the actual curvature, and you can do this. We couldn't do this in 1950. With NASA and hundreds of millions of dollars, could not do this in 1950. You can do this today, and that's what we come from. Because you don't have the answers. That's okay. I don't have most of the answers. But I know where to find them. And if I don't, we got 30,000 members. They know somebody who knows how to figure out whatever the hell it is you want to do. And there's no limits.
Well, how do you make the transition from Grand Valley to an international organization?
One painful step at a time.
Losing everything I owned 7 times, ending up homeless and living under the wealthy street overpass, getting run out of Kalamazoo on a rail, learning that you can fight like City Hall, and sometimes you can win, but it's going to hurt way more than it's worth. Learning that there's nothing more expensive than a cheap lawyer, except perhaps cheap tools. Learning, don't build a building in the middle of an aquifer because, wow, I've never seen a basement flood. We actually had a basement in Kalamazoo that flooded so bad the only way to get around the basement was with a canoe. The building was 3 city blocks long. Yes.
What was it?
It was the old Average Plant on 2nd Street in Kalamazoo. If you ever had a chance to go there, check it out. But just, the only reason that we do this is because I'm too stupid to quit. I have a job where I get to wake up every day, and I get to fly helicopters at work. I get to play with giant robots and lasers and high voltage. I get to blow shit up in front of people. And this is my job. If you just took him, how old is he? How old is he? 6. Huh? 6. Okay, you're 6. If you took him and gave him a Home Depot store and just said, you can play with that shit. Knock yourself out. We're going to put cameras in you while you do it. That's my job. They pay me to do this. This is great. I would pay a lot. But I would do this for free. They pay me to not punch salespeople in the face. That's what they pay me. They won't let me do that. They pay me because you have to wear pants if you're going to go to work. Fine. But this is the coolest job ever. I get to talk to guys like this. He's a truck driver. And the minute he said that, half of the world wrote him off. Oh, he's a video clipper. He's one of those guys who talk on CDs. He can't get you right. I'll bet all the money in my pocket, against all the money in any one of his pockets, that he's got shit to teach me and everyone. He knows. Everyone you The engineering on it is amazing. The mathematics is beautiful. And this was invented by people who didn't have computers. They did it with slide rules. And it's art. We could take a day. We could just drop a gearbox out of his truck. Spend a whole day on just that part. And it's amazing. And it's a beautiful story of art and engineering and science and math and physics. This stuff exists and it's everywhere. And I want to share that with you. So, thanks for coming and seeing her right here. Thank you. The website is geekgroup.org. You should all go there. You should all sign up because every single one of you just sat here and listened to me rant about the insanity freak show that is this place. And every single one of you has something to offer. It's cheaper than cable. It's $40 a month. That's it. Show up, volunteer, get involved. I want you. I don't know why, but you're cool. Everyone who has something to do, come be a part of it. You guys have fun.
Thank you.